Hello everyone, and welcome on the booth for this keynote. So I'm Philippe, I'm a partner at KPMG and leading a quite unique team of specialists of Web3 technologies and blockchain and crypto. And I have the pleasure and the honor to welcome Olivia, who is the Chief Legal Officer of Bitpanda. And I will let you maybe, Olivia, introduce yourself and maybe introduce Bitpanda for those in the audience or on LinkedIn who don't know about Bitpanda.
Sure. Thank you so much. It's great being here. So I'm Olivia Broderick. I'm the Chief Legal Officer at Bitpanda. Under me, I have legal, compliance, and the AML teams that support all of our businesses across Europe. And we also have the public affairs team, so dealing with all of our regulators, which I'm sure we'll speak a lot about today. Bitpanda, for those of you who don't know us, we are one of Europe's leading investment platforms. So we started off in 2014. Mainly doing crypto investments, crypto exchange. And since then, we have developed and grown into other assets. We now have over 2,500 assets across 4 different asset classes. So not beyond crypto, we've gone into stocks, metals, and commodities. So a whole range of different assets, different regulations around that. So, yeah.
Great. And maybe one question first. Let's go directly to the topic of our keynote, which is we knew that Europe was an interesting market in terms of business perspectives, in terms of quality of education. But now Europe is also interesting for crypto players because of its regulation. How is that possible?
Well, it makes me a very proud European that we are leading across the world right now for crypto. It was a very different story a year ago, even more. There has been some bumps along the way, which we can come on to. Last year, there was a lot going on. But the bit I'm excited about is where Europe is now leading. We are going to be leading the crypto space because of new regulation that's coming in next year. You may all have heard of MiCA regulation. And what this is going to bring is innovation for Europe. It is bringing financial stability. And it is bringing that because it's bringing harmonization of crypto regulation across all of our member states. And don't forget Norway, Liechtenstein, and Iceland. So we're going to have one approach across Europe, which Europeans were used to regulation like that. But in this industry, this is a first.
Yeah, and maybe we want to talk about some players, even coming from the US in Europe. How is that possible?
Yeah.
How is not like United States always leading the way?
Yes, and it was. And if you think on crypto, a year ago, where was it? The US. That was the main place. It was the main market. It was where all the big crypto players were based. Now, as I said, the bumps along the way, I think we'll start with the big one, FTX. So you have big companies like that falling down. But the last few weeks, we've had Binance and Coinbase. I think if I focus on Coinbase, because I think they're a good regulatory example. This is a company that, last year they were in contact with the main regulator, the SEC in the US, over 30 times, asking for guidance, asking for how they should look at their assets and how they should be regulated. They got no guidance. And this is even though in 2021, when they were going to IPO, the SEC didn't give them a stamp of approval, but there was no objection. So there has been a massive change in 12 months. And if you look back on it, it's kind of triggering from FTX. And now the SEC and other regulators are going after the big US players who do have operations here in Europe, but they were always seen as kind of secondary. Now their European operations are the primary operations.
Yeah, so finally playing without rules is not as funny as it can seem.
No.
Maybe you can tell us about your strategy in Europe in terms of regulation and registration and licensing.
Yep.
Because isn't it a bit complicated to get registered in every market?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? Is it easy to have the registration in France? How did you find that? How's the process?
So we started, as I said, in 2014, and we started in Austria. That's where we're headquartered. And it was new in Austria. We were the first crypto company, so we had to work very closely with the regulator there to figure out the way, being the first. But yes, you're right. In every country, you have to be regulated. So we have over 10 licenses at the moment. Every country is different. Some, it's pretty intense. I won't lie. Germany, France being some of the more intensive. Some are more like a form. You literally are filling out a form with some, I would say, basic money laundering reporting. Obviously, all that's going to change now, and we will just have, you just will need one license in one country, and then you can passport it. But that won't come in until 2025.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe, Olivia, you can tell us about Bitpanda and where you're moving forward. What's your roadmap in the future? We've seen that you're always working with some French fintechs like Lydia, for example.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, we last year we partnered with Lydia. So this is part of, so as I said, Bitpanda is an investment platform. We started off with you and me, retail consumers, on the platform, but we have now developed into white label partnership. So many banks or financial services companies don't want to build it all themselves. They want to partner with people like Bitpanda. So Lydia was one of our first, actually. So that was great. They were learning, we were learning. But it has been a fantastic success, I have to say. So within the first 2 months, 50% of our registrations came through in those first 2 months. And the vast majority of them traded, and the vast majority of them are still trading regularly. So this white label is really, as I said, financial services companies either using our license or using just our technology, because some of them do have licenses themselves, but maybe they don't have the technology. So we kind of do it in a modular fashion.
Great. And you told me that you were also invested in artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And what are you doing in this area, and what are you investing for?
So look, we've always used AI. We're a tech company. So, previously it was things like focusing on our operations, how to improve it, how to make it smoother, faster. But recently we just announced one of our co-founders, who was our chief technology officer, has stepped away from being the chief technology officer, and he is now a title which I love, our chief scientist. And we've set up a whole division under him and put 10 million euro at his disposal to build a whole AI part of our business. So they are in their element, him and his developing team, playing around, figuring what's next. So it was only announced a couple of weeks ago, but they're already busy.
Great. Maybe we can ask to the audience if someone has some questions about Bitpanda. Yeah, please.
Hello, I would like to know, are you like Alameda?
Are we like?
Alameda Research, no. They are providing some investment. No, it's not. Because it's on crypto. You know Alameda? Yeah. Okay, no. It's not like.
No.
Okay. It's the business. Okay. And I would like to know, so which kind of investment do you suggest, or which kind of product do you propose, or do you sell? Offer, sorry.
We offer all sorts. So I'll kind of run through them. So your traditional cryptocurrencies, You can trade on those. So you can put money in as, yourself. You upload fiat currency, cash, onto your wallet.
Like going on Binance or?
Yeah,
okay.
like going on
so
Binance.
Instead of going to Binance, we go to you and we can buy some tokens.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Or you can decide to buy some Tesla shares. I'm sure Elon would be
Tesla
happy
assurance?
right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you might go, actually, I like gold. I like, I'll buy a bit of gold. Or you might decide, oh, wheat is going up. Look at, what's going on in the market. You can buy a bit of wheat. So we have, diversified across. So we've moved beyond
what is the
crypto.
difference between the different exchanges already existing on the market? So what is the plus of Bitpanda? If I want to invest, why I would not go directly to Binance and I would go to Bitpanda?
Well, we think we are more than just crypto,
Okay.
number one.
Oh, I thought that we were only...
No, we are more than crypto. Number two, we're European, if you want to support a European business. And number three, as far as I know, we're not being sued by any regulator. We're not being sued by any regulator.
Yeah.
I have a few questions. Maybe I'm going to start with a couple of ones, giving back and then coming after. So the first one is about the regulation. When you had the license, France and Germany, what was the most difficult aspect or most challenging point that you had to deal with regulators? That's the first one. Second one, are you using, in a way, shape or another, smart contracts? Potentially with clients, because you're talking about retail and non-retail.
Yeah.
And the last one, is your KYC kind of classic, or are you using something kind of, I don't know, smart KYC, if we can call it this way?
I'm not sure I can answer all of those, but so Germany and France, I think I'll focus on France first. We have recently had to re-engage with the ACPR, and we have found a massive change in them in even just a year. Their knowledge, their ability to speak about crypto. When we first applied for our license, we really were, I would say the teams, it was all new. It was new to them. But we've recently had to engage with them, and my God, it was so impressive. They have absolutely started transforming into a global regulator. So that was brilliant. Germany is quite different. The crypto regulation there is maybe a bit unusually put in under their kind of banking regulation. So you're dealing with banking regulators. Yeah, so in BaFin and Bundesbank, yeah. So they are, they still stick to quite rigid banking approach. So it's quite maybe more traditional finance approach. So we have to be able to adapt, and that's what we do. We adapt to all of the regulators, but some of them are very different to others.
Maybe before the third question, so staying on the license. In other words, if you had to do the same process coming today, not 1 year ago, with the ACPR, it would be totally different in a way. So quicker, much more kind of standardized, streamlined. You were talking about the passporting. So you're saying that there is something to be implemented in 2025, right? So in a way, if I have a license in France starting from 2025, I need just to kind of passport it to Germany, Austria, and others, right? Okay. So maybe my second question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. So right now, if you get a license, you're stuck with it in that country. But the new regulation comes in on the 30th of December next year, 2024. And if you get a license after that date, you can use it in any European country. So it's really going to open up the market. And it is going to... Some people ask me sometimes, are you worried? It's going to allow new entrants in. I'm not worried, because actually it's also raising the bar of regulation. The regulation's actually going to get a bit tougher. We already operate to that standard anyway, because as I said, we have some regulators like BaFin that have a very high entry point. So we're fine with the extra regulation. But it's actually leveling the playing field, because right now we compete against companies that don't have the same standard that we do. and we feel it's a bit unfair sometimes.
As you said, there are a lot of discrepancies from jurisdictions to jurisdictions, even in Europe. So
Exactly.
yeah. And I found that I come back to the
Oh,
other
we
point,
can't
which
hear-
was.
Smart contracts. Yeah, I don't know about QIC. I can't answer that. Yeah, we do use smart, but I won't go into the detail.
Hello. So I see the title Europe, a new hub for crypto players. So it's
Yes.
very ambitious.
Yes.
So thank you. I've been following more this like Hong Kong, a new hub for crypto players. I was following because it looks more transparent than Europe.
Yeah.
There had been a consultation with the crypto banks and something like this, 600 pages document.
Yeah.
How does Europe sit in terms of regulation compared to Hong Kong? Does it also allow the crypto players like Bitpanda and other banks to have their view, to exchange, and to grow the legal framework?
Yeah. So I think the difference with Hong Kong regulation has been very unclear for many years. They have tolerated crypto players, and everyone's kind of been under the radar a little bit. So you never knew in Hong Kong whether you were going to get in trouble or not. They've actually brought in new regulation and are now welcoming people, which is brilliant. I think the challenge with Hong Kong is what countries you can go to from there. The joy of Europe is, as I said, one license, you can go into, 30 countries. So suddenly it's opening up a whole continent. Whereas Hong Kong, it will be territorial to Hong Kong. So it doesn't mean you can go and offer it in Singapore or China even. So it's restricted. So Europe is going to be, it's just a bigger market. It's just quite exciting. Yeah.
And there's been a lot of debate and discussions also with crypto player during MiCA, the building up of the regulation. I mean, I remember last summer about the ban on Bitcoin and all the discussions that has been, and I think it's not finished.
Yeah, no, it's not finished. We're now going into the detail of MiCA, but anyway.
Do we have any other questions in the audience? No. So thank you very much, and Olivia, for coming. It was great, and we see that Europe is the place to be for crypto, and we're so happy of that.
I know.
And we're so happy to have you in Paris.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.